Am I on? Are we live? I'm on right now. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Nightcap. Episode number 2, and there is so much to talk about, so little time to discuss it. It wasn't really a discussion, it's just me seeing a bunch of things and hopefully people going, oh, that guy's saying a bunch of things that make sense. I think that would work. I think that's what we'd call it. I don't know if there's a name for that. No, I don't think there is. We're going to have to come up with a name. So yeah, if you've got a name for it, leave a name in the comments. I think that's the best way to do it. Okay, so where do we start? It's Friday night. Everybody's out there getting drunk, having a good time. I'm just walking around, just getting shit done. Well, not really getting shit done, just walking around. I need to like write down notes and just have them slightly to my left. So if I get stuck, I know what I want to talk about, but it's just thinking of the right things to say at the right time. Like I know what I want to say, but I don't know exactly the way I want to say it, and I don't want to go off track from saying it too much. Sometimes you have like really open discussions with mates, and then they tell you stuff about yourself that they've thought pretty much ever since they've known you, but they've just never said anything. Isn't that a little bit weird? Like, if there's something about a person that I notice, I'm going to tell them. I'm not going to wait 6 months to tell them. Like, I don't get it. People are afraid to say things. They're afraid to. It's not even like talking down to them. It's not condescending them. It's not insulting them. It's just observations. Observations can be taken one of two ways. If someone says something and it upsets you, you can either let it upset you and let it ruin you and change your opinion of that person, or you can accept it as an observation, as something as someone has noticed. Doesn't make it the ultimate truth. It's just their perception, not the absolute truth. But you can take it on board. You can understand why that they've said it, and then you can learn from it. You can evolve as a person, because that's what discussions are. It's shared information, talking about or discussing topics, and changing things, or changing the way that you think, or being open-minded to other people's ideas and perceptions. So I had a friend say something to me that I thought was pretty interesting, but it was just an observation that he had. And he said that I came across as antisocial to him. And people that know me and actually are friends with me disagree, because I've asked a few people, because it got me thinking, because I'm like, okay, so if he thinks that, then what do other people think? And so I went on a mission to find out if there was any truth to it, or find out why he had that perception. Maybe I did something to give off that impression to him. So I asked around, no one agrees with it. He had this perception that I'm antisocial. Now I can take that one of two ways. I can go, like my ego can take over, like, fuck you, how dare you say that? Like, who are you to say that to me? Or, this is how I'm taking it, as a close friend of mine has made an observation about my personality that he thinks to be true. Whether I agree or not, it's still an observation. It's not the ultimate truth, but it's interesting nevertheless. So, I don't know where to go from it. Like, I don't know, how do you find out if you're antisocial or not? All I had to do was ask people. That's all I could do. So I asked a few people today, I'm like, hey, so do I come across as antisocial? Like, no, you're pretty much a social butterfly. So I'm like, that's what I thought. But I guess the way that I sum it up is, I'm not antisocial, I'm socially selective. So I choose who I'm going to be social around, and if other people I'm not as social to, it may come across the wrong way. Now, with my mate, I am social with him, but we've been in situations where I haven't been as social with other people while he's been there, and that may be why he has that perception of me. But he he's saying this thing where he's like, when you're with people, try to be normal, try not to be weird. And I'm like, but I'm just a weird dude. This is what I do. Like, all I know is to be weird. I can't change that. Like, to me, I'm normal. To what I say, what I do, to me, it feels normal. It's just me being me. That's sort of like saying to someone, don't be yourself. That's sort of saying like, Usain Bolt, don't run. You know? You can't, it's just natural. You can't tell someone to go against their like natural order, if that makes sense. I just found it really weird, and I've never thought of myself to be antisocial. Not as a whole. I guess selective antisocialness is a term. Is that a thing? No objections. That's definitely a thing. So yeah, we'll call it that. But yeah, like there's stuff about me that's a little bit off. Like, I'm not as normal as I'd like to be, but I don't consider myself to be antisocial. Maybe socially awkward in certain situations. That could be it. But even that's not even that bad. Like, I know how to talk to people. I know how to, like, if they're older, younger, I can relate to them, or I try to find ways to relate to them. But, like, if I don't find something interesting about a person, I tend not to spend as much time talking to them. Just because there's nothing really to say. There's nothing that really rolls off the tongue. And I don't like standing around in awkward silences. See how awkward that is? Like, I don't like being around people when they're just standing there awkwardly and you're like trying to figure out something to say. It's like when you get a Uber and you're sitting there with the driver and you're both sitting there awkwardly, and then you're just like looking around for like things to talk about, and like it's just awkward. Like, it's a situation that you're forced upon. You have to say things and you don't want to. That's how I feel around some people. Like, the conversation has to be forced. And it's draining. I always feel like those conversations are draining. There's only so many of them I can have. And I interact with a lot of people. So I try to minimize my conversations with people that I don't want to have conversation with, so I have time to have conversations with people that I want to have conversations with. And like, I'm not like that every day. Like, I'm not as talkative as I am now every single day. Some days I like to be a little bit quieter. Just that little bit of time to myself really helps me process everything and just think about where I am and what I want to do with my life. And sometimes I need that. But I don't think it separates me from people. I don't think I alienate myself from people too often. So as far as saying I'm antisocial, I don't agree with it. It's an observation, one that I don't agree with, but I will take it on board anyway, and I'll be mindful. I think that's an important part, just being mindful of who you're talking to, what you're talking about. And some people may see you as being antisocial, but to me it sounds really arrogant when you say it. It's sort of like you're not interesting to have a conversation with on an intellectual level. And that's a horrible thing to say, but some people are shallow. Some people want to talk about going out on the weekend, getting drunk, taking drugs, talk about cars, material possessions and stuff like that, which is fun for about 10 seconds. So if you want to talk about that, we can have a 10-second conversation. But then don't feel like I'm being antisocial if after that 10 seconds I'm sort of like, so where do we go from here? I don't know, that's just food for thought. I don't know what to make of it, but all I really can do is take it on board and just go from there. Well, welcome to the new spot. I wonder how the acoustics are in here. It's a little bit more isolated than the last spot. I can still hear a lot of background noise, which is why I need to have these headphones in. But I don't know. Yeah, no, there's too much noise. I'm definitely going to leave these in. Kind of looks weird, like chatting to a camera with these just flapping around like... they're in the way. And like I noticed from other videos, my collar was not straight at all. That's because I'm trying to I'm trying to adjust to talking under this thing. I wonder if that's gonna get louder if I talk like this. If I talk like this, can you hear me? Is anybody out there? No. Okay. This has been fun. Yeah. I've got 2 phones. Baby, I got. So how was everyone else's Friday night? Let me know how your Friday night went. Comment section. Make it happen. It's funny because like I have so many things I want to talk about, but so many things I don't know how to start talking about or how to even discuss it or where to take it. You know, like I have ideas, like so many ideas, but as long as I'm only thinking about it, they're just ideas. Until I put them into action, there will only ever be ideas. And an idea that's stuck in your head is pretty much useless. I would say it's useless, definitely. So I really want to get into stand-up comedy, but like it's harder than I thought because you gotta deliver things in a funny way. So in my mind, I'm really funny, like hilarious. If you could hear what's going on in my head, you would be constantly laughing. You'll see me smile all the time. I'll be walking around and like this funny thing just pops into my head and I'll just start laughing. And everyone's like, oh, what are you laughing at? I'm just like, I'm actually really funny. You can't tell, but I'm hilarious. And that's a hard thing to get across to people is the idea that's in your head to articulate in it the right way. That's a big word. That's how serious I am on the matter. So, what I need to do, I need to write more. Because I don't when I write down comedy, I don't write the way that I talk. Like there's things that I don't put in, pauses that I don't put into my writing that I do when I'm speaking, so it's hard to write the way that I talk. So I need to practice that a little bit, I reckon, because I need to start writing some stand-up comedy because I'm going to do it. I'm keen to do it. I'm excited to do it. I feel like I'm confident enough to do it, even if I get booed. Even if people start throwing stuff at me and saying, get off the stage, I'm going to keep going. Because I have a microphone and they don't, and they will listen to every word I have to say. It'll suck if I get booed. Like, I wouldn't even know what to do if I got a heckler. Like, oh shit, he's dropping some truth. God damn it. And then like, what if he's funnier than me? What if I'm up there like with jokes that I think are hilarious? So I'm like laughing at, because I laugh at my own jokes. So I'm up there making all these jokes, laughing at them. No one else is laughing. I'm the only one laughing. And then someone like makes a joke. He sort of says something, and then everyone laughs. I'm sort of like, God damn it, he's funnier than me. So should I give him the mic? Is that what you do? You sort of like admit defeat. You're sort of like, bro, you're funny. Finish this set for me. You got this. Like you've won the crowd. You've won the crowd. Like I don't know what to do. Like I've never been to a comedy show, so I don't know what they do if they get a heckler. And people don't really advertise getting hecklers that often. They tell stories about it, but like a comedian telling a story is more than likely fabricated. That's a big word. Fabricated. That's how serious I am about that. So, yeah. I've written a lot of things down I've written. And in my mind when I'm thinking about it, it's really funny. But when I put it on paper, it's just not funny. Like it sounds like I'm just ranting. Like I'm just saying a bunch of things that it makes sense, but not in a funny way. It's just things and stuff that just there's no depth to it. There's no laughter to it. I mean, even if I say it in a funny way, it's not that funny because it's like I stood in front of the camera or in front of the mirror and I do it and no one laughs. I mean, I'm the only one who really hears it, sees it, listens to it. But when I do it, I don't laugh. When it's in my head, I laugh. But when I write it down and I say it, it's not as funny. So maybe there's something wrong with my delivery. Maybe there's something wrong with the way that I talk. Maybe like I need to do funny voices. They're hard. Like when you do voices, because you don't know if you're doing the voice right. Because like I can't hear myself all the time. I sound the same all the time to me, kind of like you do to you, but to me, like I do to me. And I don't know if I change my voice a little bit, am I making it sound like I want it to sound like? Like if I did an Irish accent, does it sound like an Irish accent, or does it just sound like a guy that's trying to do an Irish accent but can't quite do it? Like there's a few sketches where I have to use a woman's voice, or not really a woman's voice, but portray a woman, and it is so difficult. And I do it, I'm like, that does not sound like a girl, that sounds like a guy trying to be a girl, but is failing. Yeah. And like, I can't do accents. Like there's people with some pretty cool accents. I can't do accents, and I want to add that into my show. But if I can't do the accent properly, there's no point putting that in my show, otherwise I just look like an idiot. My face is rosy. I have a rosy face. Naturally rosy cheeks. Alright, it's time to wrap this bitch up. Thank you for listening. If you like my videos, subscribe to my channel. Tell your friends about it. I want everyone to know Nightcap is for real.